Welcome, ladies and gents. Scoopers defend Brie Larson. Apparently everyone is, a bunch of ists and phobes. This is all to do with the Marvels being reportedly having drama behind the scenes. Reportedly having Brie Larson creating drama behind the scenes. I did a video on this. I'll leave it above. Now, there's lots of things to consider, when we sort of evaluate this. Everyone's sort of coming to the defense of this. They're only saying what they've heard. The people reporting that Brie Larson is creating drama behind the scenes is only reporting what they've heard. This is genuinely a case of tit for tat, right? Now, the other important thing to consider when we're talking about this, which these individuals, these scoopers, note or sort of fail to note, is that there is still a fairly unprecedented fact to consider. They've moved the movie from summer to autumn, putting it at a huge disadvantage. You just analyze box office, analyze movies, you'll see that this is being put at a huge disadvantage. And they're only going to do that for a good reason. Now, the good reason could be reshoots. The good reason could be spending more time to actually get the VFX right. There's many factors, but to simply discount it as sexist, racist, right-wingers, incels, all this nonsense. It is just that. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. Now, I've heard that they're going back for reshoots. That's what I heard. I didn't hear about the drama. Although when you're looking at what is said about the drama, which we'll get to in a minute, I can believe it as well. It's not out of the realms of logical sense, put it that way. So recently there's been a bunch of reports from multiple sources that the Marvels is in big trouble. And again, owing to the fact that its release date has been pushed back, not once but twice, well out of summer. Well out of summer. And it's not going anywhere near Thanksgiving. And it is genuinely being stacked up against other movies, which will be of detriment to its box office performance. So why do you do that? With good reason, normally, because there's bad stuff going on. Now, one of the reports is that Brie Larson is causing troubles on set. Massive drama with, fellow cast and crew, not liking the fact it's called The Marvels, not Captain Marvel 2. Many reports, just about general nonsense behind the scenes. So, and I can believe that she wouldn't be happy. She was touted as the next thing to lead Marvel, the next person to lead the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then she's being told, "Oh yeah, sorry, Brie, your movie is now the Marvels. It's an ensemble." I'd be pissed. You'd be pissed. We all rag on Brie Larson, and I get it. She's easy to sort of criticize, but one thing you can't criticize is that absolutely, you and I would all be annoyed if you're touted as the next big thing and your movie's going to come out and then they change it to an ensemble. We'd all be annoyed. But, apparently bad test screenings. Right? You even had Grace Randolph saying it had bad test screenings. And then it was said reshoots involve fixing the third act of the film and removing goofy content because of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, that's not a stretch either, because Marvel will literally keep changing things right up to the last minute. We had Ant-Man reshoots in January. January of this year, there were Ant-Man reshoots. They were reshooting the end of Ant-Man this year. So when we say about these things, there's precedent. Now, in terms of Brie Larson, well, Brie Larson is apparently causing problems with the movie as she's not getting along with co-star Tiona Paris. And also Brie Larson doesn't like the fact that the Marvels is not titled Captain Marvel 2. I'd be annoyed. You'd be annoyed. Let's not beat around the bush. However, of course, ladies and gents, two scoopers have come to the defense of the Marvels and Brie Larson. And it's important as well, just to consider where they come from. Casey Walsh, the comics kid. So, the comics kid, Casey Walsh, who uses pronouns. And that's important to note because people who use pronouns tend to have an ideological slant. Okay? You have to take that into account because it's a mindset issue. Right? It's a facet contextually to their personality, and whether or not they will tend to be biased in their responses, right, or their defenses of things. So Casey Walsh uses pronouns, and who apparently has multiple Twitter accounts, so that's funny, with his latest account described as an alt account where my main gets suspended for talking shit to right-wing lunatics. I mean, there you have it. Ideological. Said he had heard nothing bad about the Marvels and goes so far as to say that sexist and racist YouTubers are to blame, including Jeff Snyder, with another Twitter user blaming incels. So this individual came out and was like, again, I've heard nothing negative around this production. The movie has gotten more positive praise from tests than other MCU films this year. Sexist YouTubers use Larson as a way to garner favour with sexists and racists. And the in Snyder is no different. I mean, that's just nonsense. I don't make a video like this hoping that a bunch of sexist people and racists are going to jump in my comments. I don't do that. In fact, you know, I made the video yesterday talking about the individual who played Chrissy Cunningham coming out and basically saying she was propositioned by a producer, right? And, you know, this is an individual, the individual's Grace Van Dien, and this is an individual who is the daughter of an actor. She's not a clout chaser. She doesn't need to clout chase, right? She's not work if she doesn't want to. She doesn't have to. But loads of people came in the comments saying, well, you know, name names, blah, 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 blah. I actually find it incredibly laborious when sexists come into my comments because, one, I'm not a sexist. And when you're trying to convey something which seems to be quite logical and all you get is pushback from a bigoted stance, it's very, very frustrating. And it just becomes, you know, kind of pointless. Especially when you do movie reviews, when you just have, again, people with any ideological slant coming in the comments going, well, you think this because of this, or you hate this because of this. No, I just review the product as is. So, no one is making videos. Oh, well, I'm sure some people are, but I am not making videos because I want to appeal to racists or sexists. And incels either. I mean, what? No. And I'm fairly certain Jeff Snyder doesn't need to do that and isn't doing that. Really? Behave. And so that was in a response to this. Jason Kane says he's lying. This not getting along is something that cannot be either right or wrong, like casting information. He didn't write an article about it. He made up fake drama about an actress to get attention. One that incels love to harass. It's not that hard to see. Again, I disagree. It's not incels that love to harass Brie Larson. She's very easy to mock. It's nothing to do with being involuntary celibate, which is what incel actually stands for. It's got nothing to do with that. It's a complete lack of, you know, comprehension on individuals' parts. And someone was like, was it better than Guardians of the Galaxy 3? He's like, no. Well, what's it better than, fool? Come on. And so then we had this, you know, Brie Larson reports are false. The second person defending Brie Larson comes from a news scooper on Twitter who actually recently said there were problems with the Marvels regarding the third act. So it's interesting, but we have this. That report about Brie Larson being difficult on the set of Marvels is absolutely false. She was looking forward to the sequel being a team-up. Okay, sure. Who knows? But it is worth a mention. It's not been reported Brie Larson hated her Avengers Endgame cast, and Brie Larson herself even questioned her future in the MCU as Captain Marvel amid rumours of about her exit from the MCU. So this is all a bit of like a, well, okay, we'll see how this goes. But I can believe that this is going on behind the scenes. You know, you don't move a film from July to November. You just don't. You don't move it from summer to November without good reason. You know, and I've said in any video I've made about Brie Larson, look, she's just a bit of an idiot. She's very attractive. You know? Like, I don't hate her as a person. You know, she's just a bit stupid and says dumb stuff every now and then. And she's just easy to sort of comment on because, unfortunately, the moment she opens her mouth, she does say some dumb stuff. It's just unfortunate. But I do think, actually, I think I was the only person that thought this, but her interview with Variety, where she was like, I don't know, does anyone even want to see me in this? Wasn't her attacking trolls or anyone like that. It was actually her being quite self-aware. And I came to her defense in that video going, no, I think she's pretty self-aware. I think, and I thought then, and I said it in a video, I think she's sick of Marvel. I think she's sick of the pushback. I think she's sick of Marvel. I think she's well aware that she was used as a pawn. And I think that goes hand in hand with what Jeff Snyder's hearing. She was used as a pawn. She was offered everything. They took it all back. And now she's got an ensemble piece and she's pretty annoyed. I can believe all that. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Cheers, guys. Take care.